Welcome to another Who Would Win? And Who Would Win? What to into another What If? And this What If comes from Brandon Whitman, who's, again, forgive me if it's Whiteman or Whitman. I'm going with Whitman for the time being. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. And he's given me a lot. And I've got actually quite a few more suggestions from him. We're just going with this one for the time being. And that is, what if Goku went Super Saiyan against Raditz? Now, to understand where this, how this will come about, we have to understand the context of the situation. So we cut to basically the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. Raditz comes down, he kidnaps Gohan, him and Piccolo go to stop him. Now, just like in the original series, in the original canon, they're not doing well. I mean, Goku's 416 for his power level. Raditz is, there's a little debate actually if it's like 1200 or 1500. I think it's around 1200, 1500. Like, he's stronger than what they act like Raditz and Nappa or Vegeta and Nappa actually think he is, but it's just not by much. Kind of like how they believed that Vegeta's max was 18,000, but it turns out it was higher than that. So yeah, he's just kicking their asses, but what I see happening is that Raditz being kind of just cruel and a bit on the sadistic side, just a bit. It says I'm gonna blow up your son, Kakarot. What do you think of that? Saying any last words? It's like, no, God, no, and it's basically just the pure and adulterated fear and horror in Goku's heart as he's about to see his only child, his son, just being slaughtered in front of him. That trigger snaps and Goku just goes, ah! And then just the power the power raids up. His hair's gold. Piccolo's arm's still cut off in this, by the way. And then Radzi's scouter suddenly goes crazy as he's seeing this power. Goku's hair is blood. Like, what is this transformation? He harkens back in his mind to the tale, legendary Super Saiyan. His scouter is now reading a power level around 2,800. Excuse me, 20,800, 50 times Goku's base power. Which he's like the power. This is like this, but this can't be. He doesn't see him as a Super Saiyan, but this power up. This is something he can't match. Hell, this is something that Vegeta, that Nappa couldn't match, and Vegeta would be hard pressed to go up against. At least not without transforming. So there, I was like, and what the hell is this? Oh, it's American Horror Story. So this is Raj is like you, and then Goku just starts to wail on him, and then it's like, you threatened my son. It's like, no, I'm sorry. It's like I don't buy it, because this is his first transformation. Goku doesn't have control of his emotions very well at the moment, so it's like, you just, it's like, you're no brother of mine. Blah 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 blah. Eventually, it leads to Goku. Raditz is not able to convince him not to kill him, so Goku more or less just pulls straight through him, and shink, no blood on him like you often see in these shows. Just puncture with your hand and no blood. So, Raditz is like, and then obviously the scouter and all that was picked up. So either he makes mention of Vegeta and Nappa coming to Earth, or Vegeta and Nappa coming to Earth anyway. I can't remember exactly what it was. So now it's like, I want to meet this warrior, this amazing warrior who, because I think they're able to, because if they can record scouters, they must have somewhat of a reading of the power level that the scouters was recording. It's like a warrior of 2,008 of over 20,000. It's like, this can't be. This can't be. We're going to Earth now, but get these Dragon Balls and got immortality. That way Kakarot or anyone won't be able to stand before us. Great, Vegeta. And now that we're over there, we can slaughter them all? Of course not. What do you think we are? Human? Of course we're going to slaughter them. So, cut back to Earth. Raditz is killed. Goku's able to finally calm down. And now he just realizes, like, what happens? Like, you transformed. That power. What is it? It's like, I don't know. I heard Raditz vaguely mention. I imagine Raditz might vaguely mention something. He's like saying I was Super Saiyan or whatever. But, I mean, whatever. But that's not the important thing. What the important thing is, these Saiyans are going to show up in a year. We got to be ready, because they might be because from what Raditz said, I'm sure Raditz would have made sense. Like, these guys are going to be way strong. And I don't know even if this power I have will be enough to stop them. So we're going to have to put ourselves through the training of our lives. Z-Fighters come. They basically share what's going on with the Z-Fighters, and training's going to commence. Now, a couple things are going to be different. Gohan's not training the scenario. Goku didn't see his hidden potential. Piccolo didn't see that hidden potential when he striked out against Raditz. There's no. I mean, Goku has still seen hints in his in his time with Gohan of Gohan's potential, but he's not going to because it is that massive outburst that took Piccolo to train. So he's going to be back with Chi-Chi. Though I think he would tell Chi-Chi at least while I know he wanted Gohan to stay, but just keep him apart. He needs to know how to defend himself. I don't want this happening again. And I think Goku giving that I'm going to have to train with Piccolo because there's going to be a threat greater than Raditz coming, greater than what we just went up against, and we had to be ready for it. Chi-Chi. It's like, I love you. All that. I think that kind of explanation would actually convince Chi-Chi to at least help Gohan try and muster up some strength. Try to improve. Now, I mean, it probably would just be spars and stuff like that, just to get him in shape and maybe help with his confidence, similar to Piccolo did. And I think Chi-Chi, granted being motherly and all that, but still, being motherly and all that might not be as might not be quite as effective in terms of how long it took for Gohan to kind of get over some of his issues, but I think it would still be effective in the long run. So, and power level wise, maybe he'd be like at 800, 900. He wouldn't be quite as strong as he was with Piccolo, just for obvious reasons. But now we cut to the training with Piccolo, Goku, and the Z-Fighters. And I'm certain that they would all train together in some capacity, though Piccolo and Goku would be training mostly with each other, as they'll need training partners and all that. And when you factor that into the equation, I do believe that with Goku there, they will be a bit stronger. I think because all of them had like around a 6 to 8 times multiplier. No idea what Chaozu's was. We were just speculating on that. So rounding it off, roughly speaking, from where their base was by the time the Saiyan Saga, by the time Radz ends and the Saiyan Saga was beginning. I'm going to estimate Chaozu around 800. I'm going to estimate Yamcha around 1800. Krillin's going to be around 2100, and Tien will round out at 2500. Now, I do fully believe that between training, because Piccolo was able to get around an 8 times multiplier training by himself with while having to train Gohan. If you just had time to train by himself, I imagine he'd have about a 10 times multiplier. Goku was able to get a near 20 times multiplier training on King Kai's from his base and so forth, going to 8,000. Now, he doesn't have the 10 times gravity at King Kai's place, but he does have a training partner. So I'm going to give them both around a 12 times multiplier in this, which would put them at around I'd averaged out around 5,000. I made them even about 5,000 each. But there's a catch. Goku would also be training for Super Saiyan, and I have a feeling he wouldn't feel he's ready because he hasn't, not necessarily mastered it, but just hasn't really practiced enough. Because we don't know how long it took for him to either work on mastering Super Saiyan on Yardrat, and we have no idea how long it took for him to get instant transmission on Yardrat. So, for all we know, it could have taken him a year to do both those things. But Goku does have an ace up his hole, because he did train in the hyperbolic time chamber when he was a kid. So, he knows about the hyperbolic time chamber. Now, he can go in there one more time, as the rules of the hyperbolic time chamber kind of state currently. And he would ask Piccolo to go with him, explain that he can get a year's worth of training, but explain that it's not a place for the weak mind. You got to be in the right mentality. Don't go in there alone; you'll go crazy. So they're gonna go, and they've all been training. Mostly the Z-Fighters have been training at comics, so they're gonna go, and it's gonna be about a day, maybe a day or two. I'm gonna say about close to the day up. They're a little late, so it's gonna be, they're not gonna be there immediately for the Saiyan battle, but they will be there. It should be there shortly afterwards. So, and they ask, hey, Goku. I was like, well, why don't we train? It's like, well, I mean, he explains again the right attitude, all that shit. But also, it's like, I imagine Goku would have the foresight to tell Piccolo about it. By the time they get there, he realized, oh, wait, yeah, maybe you guys should have possibly tried training it, especially after, because he can get a whole year's worth of training in there. We could have done this in a week. We could have been, set. So, I do imagine Goku being a little, naive in that sense. Now, they'll both go in and train. Now, we'll cut to the Saiyan battle for right now, the initial Saiyan battle. Now, there is no Gohan and Piccolo in this, so make very clear about this. But everyone is more or less stronger than their canon counterparts. So, Nappa shows up, and they grow the Cybermen like before, and everyone is, deals with it about the same. Except, I do think Yamcha does survive the explosion at 1800 for his power level as opposed to the 14,400. I think he's strong enough to survive that explosion because the Cyberman's like at power level 1200. But I think he's kind of like just crippled, more like, I can't move. Sorry, guys. But I think he's alive, but just like barely. He needs a senzu bad. Meanwhile, cut to Nappa now just messing around with them. He cuts off Tien's arm. Krillin and Tien are Tien's able to, I think, push him a little bit, but nothing serious. Because Piccolo at 3,500 really couldn't do much against him. For some reason, I don't understand how Piccolo at 3,500 can't really tackle a base form Nappa at 4,000. I mean, that's a pretty even looking fight. So I find those numbers really hard to believe. But regardless, he's able to put up some fight. But again, between him and Krillin, they can kind of push him a little bit, but nothing serious. Takes Tien's arm off like before. Chiaotzu gets sacrificed himself. It's a little stronger, so it singes him. Maybe Krillin breaks his armor a little bit more. Nappa again laughs, and then Tien just fires that tri-beam again. And now, actually, I imagine Krillin and Tien would actually look at each other. Tien fires that Mega Blast. That's gonna hurt because he's over nearly 700. He's got nearly 700 increase on his other power, and that was enough to really kind of give Nappa a good solid burn. He was kind of like, ouch, that hurt. So I think that would definitely take him, back. And then Tien, clasp. All of a sudden, as he's about to, laugh, he's like, where'd the other bald guy go? Destructo Disc! Krillin's guy's hands on right behind. It's like, what? And then Nappa gets cut in half. Nappa goes down because, as we saw, that Destructo Disc would have probably killed Nappa had it actually hit. So now you cut to a Krillin who's tired and knows that that Vegeta is probably way out of his mental. He's like, well, I must commend you. You were able to defeat Nappa. That is quite an impressive feat, all things considered, for a low level warrior like yourself. But now you're going up against a Saiyan elite. So now that's the thing. But now, Krillin and Yamcha's like, yeah, it looks like this is it looks like this is it, buddy. Now I'm doing not a bridge Krillin voice, but actual voice. Now looks like Goku and Piccolo are gonna. And then all of a sudden he goes, and he senses like, whoa! As he senses Goku and Piccolo merging out of the hyperbolic time chamber, Popo gives him a couple senzu beans. They're off. Now cut to their training. In the hyperbolic time chamber, it's 10 times Earth's normal gravity. Now, at 5,000 base power, they should be okay to handle that, generally speaking. They may have to adjust a little bit, but they should be okay. Now, Goku and Piccolo's power increase. This is going to be the big thing. Because of the way the hyperbolic time chamber works, and because they have training partners, and they're both basically equal, they're going to basically increase at roughly the same rate, but not exactly. Goku will be stronger base form-wise at this point because he has Super Saiyan to train in as well. He's able to master it and work on his Super Saiyan form far more effectively. And while doing that, he's able to tap in probably to grade 2 at that point. Maybe even grade 3, but he realizes grade 3 is not going to work, so he's just going to stick with grade 2. Now, I don't know what the whole increase of the grades actually is, like grade 2 to 3, like what the power level increase would actually be. But more or less, we'll just give it like it can't be a times 2. It's got to be more like probably like a quarter times or something like that, like a times 4, and then maybe Super Saiyan grade 3 is like a 50 or 75% or something like that. In fact, let's go 50 and then 75 for the grade 3. Let's go with that. So Goku could probably know his grade 2, but he probably won't have to use it if he doesn't have to. So, basically, base-wise, I imagine between because again, Goku was able to gain like a 20 times multiplier just in King Kai, which also had 10 times gravity, but without the fluctuations in temperature and pressure and all that stuff. So I imagine Piccolo and Gohan. Piccolo would get about and that wouldn't be a great difference, but it would still be a difference. We get about 25 times multiplier on his base, and Goku would get about 30 times, which would put them at 125,000 and 150,000 respectively. 125,000 for Piccolo, 150 for Goku. So now they show up. Say, Krillin starts laughing. Like, you're in for it now, big boy. Oh, what you gonna do, you little destructo disc thingy? I already seen it once, bald man. It's not gonna work a second time. It's like, no, oh no, Goku's here. Oh, Kakarot's here, and the Mechian's here. Why'd you put that power thingy on your ear and find out for yourself? Well, fine. Now, the scouters are capable of reading some high levels, but once you get around base form Frieza level, they don't seem to be able to take the power level. They just don't seem to be able to. They don't seem capable of reading that. It's just too much for the scouter to handle. So somewhere around the 500,000 markers where they can't read. So Vegeta would be able to pick up and he's like, oh, what's this? And then he just goes, what? Impossible! What's this? And then Piccolo and Goku show up and say, no. It's like, Tien, no, Chaozu, Yamcha, hold on, Yamcha, and then gives him a senzu bean. He's like, oh man, thanks, man. So they get up, and Krillin gets a senzu bean as well. It's like, so where's the ear? It's like, Krillin managed, I'm trying to remember the gift of Yamcha. Krillin managed a lucky hit, so, with his Destructo, his hands on, his new attack, he's able to cut him in half. But this guy's on a whole nother level. It's like, and then he just suddenly occurs to them, actually, he should have been able to sense it too, but I think you guys should be able to hand him one with your hands tied behind your back. It's like, yeah, you want to Piccolo or should I take him? It's like, I want some practice. And basically, Piccolo just completely owns Vegeta's shit. It's like, if you think this is embarrassing, Vegeta was if you think this is embarrassing, know that Saiyan, the low-level warrior you can be mocking, is far stronger than I could ever be. It's like, what? It's like, that's right. The little grunter says, and then he's just pissed at it. It's like, no, I'm a Saiyan alert! I am the prince of all Saiyans! So, tossing the moon up, goes great eight. That takes them by surprise, like, whoa, I didn't know we could do that. It's like, you've lost your tail, Kakarot. This is the true power of the Saiyan. So he comes up, him and Piccolo are now avoiding him. Piccolo could maybe hold his own, but let's be clear, Vegeta's about 1,800. He can't take on. Piccolo just can't take that on overall. Though he is charging his or doing his best to charge his special beam cone is the Makacephalus. Makacepho, I think it is. Point being is that Piccolo's trying to charge that, he can't. So Goku comes in. They're dishing out. It's kind of how, without spoiling how I thought the fight ended. In the fight, who would win fight I said against Naruto versus Ichigo? Hollow form Ichigo versus Kyuubi form Naruto, and I mean like full Kyuubi form, like in Fox form. Hollow form Grand Fisher, Vasalordi form Ichigo is a far more dangerous opponent for Kyuubi to fight, even though I think power-wise they're comparable, because he's smaller and can just avoid him easier. Same with Goku. Goku at 150,000 base power can avoid Vegeta far easier than Vegeta can avoid Goku, and their power is only like 30,000 apart, so it's not that big a stretch to think Goku could really handle them in base form. But just to add insult to this, like, you're not the only one who can transform Vegeta. It's like what? And then just this power, he can't be the legendary Superman. And then just Goku just annihilates his ass. And then, they take his tail off and he shrinks back down. But I do think they still let him go. I think he's always like, he's not a threat anymore. And, let him go off. So now I have the issue. They got to resurrect Tien and they got to resurrect Chaozu. But they talked about Namek and going to Namek and the Dragon Balls there. Kami and Pope will probably bring that up. So it's agreed that they'll probably do that. Now, who's going there? What's going to happen? We'll save that for the next video. This is part 1 of this. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win: Star Wars, superhero, what if, magic. Who would win? I think I said who would win. Dragon Ball, Star Wars, anything I do in the channel. Put it in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to it at some point. You can put it right down there. I do have who would win I'm still going to do, but I'm going to charge my computer up a little bit before I do that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I have no idea if I'll be honest. I have no idea if I'm seeing a movie. It's technically Thursday as I put this up, so I have no idea if I'm seeing a movie tonight or not. We'll find out later. Might be The Nut Job too. Might be, it's not going to be Annabelle Creation. I just have no fucking interest in that movie. I don't. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you.